So Jim did something that he wouldn't have been able to do had this been a real-world mission and not just a training op. He took himself out. "New scenario," he told them as he slowed to a stop. He wasn't out of breath. That wasn't the issue. He was aerobically fit. But his freaking knee, the left one, the good one, was on fire. "Your team leader, me, sustained a direct hit from a mortar round. There's nothing left. Nothing to carry out, nothing to bring home." He looked at King, who, as a lieutenant junior grade, was the highest ranking among them. "You're now in charge, Lieutenant. Complete the mission and get your men safely to the extraction point." Normally imperturbable, King's dark brown eyes widened just a little. "Aye, aye, sir. But before I leave you here, outside of the context of this training op, I must ask, do you need medical aid?" "I can find my own freaking medical aid," Jim growled at the kid. Now King didn't so much as blink. Clearly, he'd made note of the fact that Jim had not said no. "With all due respect, LT," Jim cut him off. "I have my phone, I have flares, and I have a shit ton of pain in my knee that's going to require another month or two of rest." At best. He'd just come off of an extended rest period after having surgery on his bad knee, which was now his new good knee, which meant it was only throbbing in contrast to the stabbing fire lighting up the other. "Trust me, the few short minutes that I'll be alone after you leave and before the hospital corpsmen find me will be time well spent managing my goddamn frustration." But King still hesitated. Rio spoke up. "I'll hang back, sir." He addressed King. "Just a bit until the corpsmen make contact with the LT. Then I'll run to catch up." The kid was faster than the rest of the team. "I don't need a babysitter," Jim started, but King cut him off. "With all due respect, sir, I'm in command." He nodded to Rio. "Do it." Then turned to the rest of the men. "Let's go, move out." And just like that, they were gone. Even Rio, who moved off with the team toward the horizon, where he'd hover to make sure... What? That Jim didn't get eaten by a giant sand lizard? He sighed as he used his phone to call for medical assistance, then sat down in the dirt to wait. The morning was hot, and the sky was blue, and some kind of vulture circled closer to check him out. "Screw you, asshole, I'm not dead yet." He already knew what his options were. More surgery. He didn't have to like it, he just had to do it. But he'd already had both knees done. He'd spent more time in the hospital and physical therapy in the past few years than he'd spent out on missions. And as much as he hated staying behind to heal and rest, he knew he'd hate it more if he went out on an op and couldn't keep up. Which meant he'd have to face the idea of pulling himself permanently out of the teams. Or, worse yet, getting pulled out. Retirement. Jesus! The idea made his anger and frustration fade and left him feeling... what? Tired. And empty. As the helo with the medical team finally approached with a wash of noise from the blades, Jim stood and waved to Rio, who waved back and finally vanished, ready to run at his top speed for however many miles, probably without breaking much of a sweat. The way Jim used to do when he first earned his Budweiser and joined Team 10 over a decade ago. What was he if he couldn't be a Navy SEAL? Lieutenant Jim Slade had absolutely no clue.
Ashley DeWitt quickly ducked behind the dumpster that sat in the corner of her condo association's parking lot. Dear sweet God! The smell back here was horrific. Tomorrow morning was weekly garbage pickup day, and the container was already overflowing. Add the heat of the Southern California sun... And yet, here she crouched in full cowardly hiding mode,